Welcome to the Early Years Engage webinar about the staff training and development policy. My name is Debbie Jones and I'm the Supervisor of Quality Initiatives at the Region of Waterloo. In this webinar, I will be providing an overview of the staff training and development policy, including the continuous professional learning guidelines and the professional learning plan template. I will also be providing you with the rationale behind why we are launching this process and who we intend to be involved in the process, as well as general timelines. This webinar will be helpful as a self-study tool or as a provocation about continuous professional learning in a group setting. The staff training and development policy can be found under the Human Resources tab in the Early Years Engage portfolio, shown on the left hand of this slide. Continuous professional learning by early years professionals is an integral component of the development and ongoing growth of high-quality early learning system. The development of this policy was based upon the January 2017 consultation sessions with the broader early years community, followed by a more intense review and refinement with a smaller group. Let's take a walk through this document together. Let's begin with the why this policy was developed. During the May 2015 ELCC Forum, the early years system partners were asked to share ideas about early years quality. System partners indicated a need for continuous professional learning guidelines for staff who are not part of the College of Early Childhood Education. Many programs shared that they had maintained guidelines established in the former quality initiative, raising the bar on quality. However, without RTB, there were no formal guidelines for staff outside the legislation of the College of ECEs and their continuous professional learning program. In Waterloo Region, this policy acts as a guide for all early years system partners and in particular non-RECE staff. Early Years Engage promotes the creation of a working climate where all professionals in the sector are actively engaged and well supported in pursuing and achieving their goals. There are several recommendations outlined in the Staff Training and Development Policy through the Child Care and Early Years Act 2015. Early Years Engage is building upon two of those recommendations. The first one is ongoing professional learning speaks to opportunities for engaging in individual reflection about pedagogy and daily practice, and for discussion and collaborative inquiry among staff teams and with others in the community. The second, support asks program managers, owners, and supervisors how professional learning for staff will be supported. For example, paid time, resource materials. The following slides define the continuous professional learning components required in Waterloo Region. If the Waterloo Region components are addressed in your policies, there is no need to change them. What we mean by ongoing professional learning is that all early years professionals are required to engage in their own ongoing professional learning through the development and completion of an annual professional learning plan. RECEs must use the College of Early Childhood Educators Continuous Professional Learning Plan, but non-RECEs may use the college's Continuous Professional Learning Plan, or we have created a professional learning plan template to assist them. Programs already engaged in a similar process for non-RECEs will be asked to ensure alignment with this policy for consistency of practices between RECEs and non-RECEs. The policy further asks system partners to detail how professional development opportunities offered through the Professional Resource Center, the PRC, at Conestoga College or other community partners are made available to all professionals within their organization. Some examples of CPL are coming up on the next slide. In addition, system partners will specify how knowledge gained from professional development activities engaged in by staff is shared with all staff, and how the transfer to practice of the knowledge and skills is supported by the organization. A professional development reflection tool has also been made available to anyone who wishes to use it and can be found in the portfolio. Organizations are required to hold one professional resource membership and identify this to all their staff. This slide depicts the many professional learning opportunities in which staff may engage. The options shown in this slide mirror those that are offered by the College of ECE in their continuous professional handbook. These opportunities may include workshops and conferences, links to news and updates from the province, ministry or other community agencies, communities of practice meetings, printed video resources, community calendars, etc. that are offered through the Professional Resource Center at Conestoga College or through any other system or community partner. Looking at what supports are needed, managers, supervisors, owners are asked to engage with each staff in the annual goal setting and review cycle, which would include one goal setting meeting and at least 2 review meetings to review the progress and supports needed during the calendar year. How does your organization support staff with continuous professional learning? Some examples include time away from program to attend training, reimbursement of costs for registration fees or travel costs. They provide job-embedded in-house training for staff at staff meetings, mentoring and coaching of staff as well. Developing a professional learning plan helps individuals establish specific learning goals and strengthens their commitment to engage in continuous professional learning. Continuous professional learning assists individuals to enhance their professional practice, actively respond and adjust to change, prepare for new roles and responsibilities, and demonstrate professional accountability. When thinking about learning goals, it's important to identify where to focus. The college has developed a very thorough self-assessment tool which may provide a starting point to assist you in determining areas for continued growth and/or opportunities for developing leadership skills in your professional practice. When developing goals, think SMART, SMART. S, or specific, what is it that you want to accomplish? M, measurable, how will you know that you have achieved your goal? And A, for action-oriented, what actions will you need to take to reach your goal or work plan? R, relevant. Does it align with your current role and pedagogy or potential future roles? And T, time-bound. Determine a timeline for reaching your goals. This slide depicts the example provided in the portfolio under the Human Resources tab. Note the orange icon with the 3 heads to assist with goal setting. Focus area, the examples look at communicating with parents. The goal that's stated here is identify a goal relating to enhancing your practice. Goal number 1 for this example says connect with all families at least weekly for two-way conversation and information sharing regarding child development, emerging interests of the child, progress towards goals, or toilet training. Activities to support the goals. This is you to determine what activities you will need to complete in order to meet your goal with timelines. The timelines are provide estimated timelines for the completion of the activities in your work plan. For example, you could attend a community of practice, documentation group to enhance documentation skills, methods and presentation of documentation, networking with other professionals in the field, and the timeline would be start attending as of January 2017. You could discuss and brainstorm ideas with co-workers at a staff meeting. The timeline could be February and March 2017. And read literature resources at the PRC and other resources from January to June 2017. And reach out to families about what ways of communication work best for them, and experiment with different methods of how to record observations and share them, and receive input from families February to December 2017. Explore the Early Learning and Child Care Conference on March 4th for relevant workshops, for example, communicating with families, January to February 2017. Additionally, there is a support required column, and in this example, you'll see that there are time on the agenda for the February staff meeting and some financial assistance to attend the conference. This part of the learning plan is used to summarize your progress to date, or any changes to goals or timelines, and solutions to any barriers. As a final wrap-up, to discuss your accomplishments and how they have impacted you, your work, your organization, and children and families. And as an end of the cycle reflection opportunity, as well as a place for employees to make comments, share their progress and accomplishments. What were the impacts of your accomplishments? What were your challenges? The continuous professional learning has two key components. The cycle. The cycle is recognized that both organizations and individuals within the organizations may have established cycle periods for annual goal setting. For example, September to June or January to December. For RECEs, their cycle period may align with their membership renewal date and runs for 24 months. It is not necessary to change your cycle. However, we would expect a cycle period to be 12 months in length. And for RECEs who are on the 24-month or 2-year cycle period with the college or their organization, we would encourage that the annual goal-setting meeting in year 2 be used as an additional review meeting so the process is consistent for everyone. Looking at the process, the cycle will begin with a goal-setting meeting with your supervisor. You and your supervisor will discuss potential areas of focus for the upcoming year, and goals will then be determined from these focus areas and a detailed work plan developed, including expected timelines and any support required. You will begin implementing your work plan over the cycle period of 1 year, and you will participate in a minimum of 2 review meetings, with a 3rd review meeting recommended but optional, with your supervisor to review progress towards your goals, discuss any changes to your goals or timelines, and any barriers you encountered, and what solutions you used to remedy them. At the end of the cycle, you will have a final wrap-up discussion with your supervisor to share your progress and accomplishments, the impacts of your accomplishments on you, your work, your organization, children and families, as well as any planning considerations for the upcoming cycle period. It is anticipated that this end-of-cycle meeting will be combined with a goal-setting meeting for the new cycle, and when appropriate, you may wish to carry over any unfinished goals into the new year. This webinar is drawing to an end, and thank you for taking time to explore the Early Years Engaged Staff Training and Development Policy. Links to other related webinars are available on the web page where you found this presentation, background and overview, and the annual planning and site visits. Should you have any further questions, reach out to one of the people listed on your screen. Again, thank you for your attention. Goodbye.